Good evening. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Tonight we have on Gary Dacanay. How you doing tonight, Gary?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on. Gary is Stevie D's brother from Buck Cherry, but Gary is also a lifelong guitar player, professional musician, and he is like a sleeper, kind of undiscovered to a lot of people. So hopefully we'll start bringing him out there for a lot more people to see him and enjoy him because it's a guitar family. Early on, what got you going early on?
Yeah, we were rocking out early, basically junior high, even a little bit before junior high. He was playing trumpet and I was playing saxophone. And even before that, we were playing piano. But as soon as we got guitars, that's when things started getting momentum. And we were playing like Zeppelin, Rush. My thing was UFO. When I heard Michael Schenker, Strangers in the Night, and played Rock Bottom and Lights Out, all that UFO stuff. That's when I started playing melodically and started stretching out with solos.
Did you guys both start playing on clubs separately or together? Because usually the brothers kind of play a little bit and then, because your music's a little bit different now. You're more of a bluesy or rock.
Yeah, he was definitely more metal and more like that 80s, more AC/DC to like Motley Crue and Guns and that type of vibe. And I was started going into jazz, and I was listening to Miles Davis, Wes Montgomery, and even started playing classical. Villalobos was a big thing for me. And, some of Spanish guitar type stuff. So I would just try and learn as much as possible different styles. But we played in bands together too. And one of the mythical stories is we played in a band, we got kicked out of the Thirsty Whale. So it's something, it was like a battle of the bands. And I'm not going to go into detail, but we played there. And then the next time out, we got kicked out. We kind of meet with the blues because Steve is like doing, he's into Gretsch guitars lately and doing the rockabilly thing. And so we kind of meet. I've been lately into a lot of country. The Telecaster got me there. I'm a big Danny Gatton fan and Albert Lee. And between that and Stevie doing the rockabilly, we come up with ideas and we bounce ideas off each other. So the blues has always been the root of it all. It's been blues crosses with jazz and rock, and it's like the foundation for me. So if I stretch out, I'll always come back to the blues.
What's some of the stuff you've done to get to the point where you're at now? Because right now you're starting to play out. You're also have a new music program.
Let's start with now, then I'll dial it back. I released a couple singles. I wanted to record an album with my son, who is at a recording arts program here in Cleveland. But when COVID hit, all those plans went out the window. So I had to readjust my plans. So instead of releasing an album, I just dropped a couple singles and started booking shows as things started opening up. And hopefully within the next couple months, I can put out an EP and then start playing even more. So that's my goal. But before that, I was been teaching yoga and incorporating yoga with live music and combining that, and been making a lot of contribution in the Cleveland area in high schools, in family centers, in hospitals.
Oh, wow.
Outdoor festivals, and even in the corporate setting. I'd go into businesses and teach yoga in conference rooms and cafeterias with live music. I'd play like guitar mantras and then call the poses. So that's been a really great creative outlet in reaching out to people and helping a lot of people that way. And simultaneously, I was still recording. I was recording hip hop. I did some tracks with Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm on a couple Public Enemy albums, and did a thing with Snoop Dogg through all that. And for a long time, I was playing weddings. So I throw on the tuxedo and
that's good money.
Yeah, and it was steady for a long time. but my path kept winding. But the common thread is teaching. I like teaching and sharing whatever I learn with people from all ages, from kids to adults. And it's been very fulfilling. And I think through COVID, I just had a lot of time to get clear on what I wanted to do with writing, and been putting each step in place to record and then do shows.
Are you, when you're writing, are you just writing with guitar, piano, acoustic? How are you doing that? Just noodling and then it comes up with something? Or
you know, I have this broken laptop with Ableton, and I just plug right in with the Line 6 thing, and I establish a groove, and I just go, and I get my ideas down. And I've worked with Steve on a single, and then I worked with a friend from Chicago who does a lot of film on my second single. So even though I have limited resources, I knew that I wanted to get my ideas moving and get them out there. And I had good help with Steve and my friend DC McAuliffe, who's done like a ton of film work. And we go back to high school and playing Iron Maiden and all the metal tunes. And,
what single was it that you did? That's right.
Brand New Day. And it's basically a blues, but I throw in this like, I guess it's like a jazz riff where I offset the beat, and people think it's like an odd meter beat, but it's not. It's 4/4, and I just hit it hard, and it's one of my favorite tunes that I've written. And,
if only you had a guitar near you, we could play that riff. It's a good riff.
I'll play it. Yeah, I mean, so it's in G. So that's the intro riff. I mean, we kick it up. So, and then you just kick into a blues. It's a song about getting back to basics, getting back to the real root of what I wanted to do, and living a life of gratitude. And one of the lines is, I count my blessings each and every day, and got no time to complain. I got a brand new day. And that's the basic idea of the lyrics.
I like that song. I like that. It's, you have a couple, what was it? Fallen rain.
Oh, Let the Rain Fall. That was
Let the Rain Fall.
Yeah.
That I love. That's probably my favorite one I've heard.
Great. Yeah, I'm bringing that back. I recorded that about 10 years ago, and it's another funk riff. I'm not going to play it now. I'm rusty on that. No. But vocally and harmonically, I really like the chords. So those are like church chords, like gospel chords. And the cool thing about church chords is you can like change one or two notes and you can feel the movement, but you're still holding in to a certain harmony. There's common threads with all those chords, and the voice
feel good chords.
Yeah,
makes you feel good when you hear those notes.
Yeah, I'd have to review that. That's the song I haven't played for a while, but I am going to bring it back. So
good, because I think it should belong on your album. So all the singles you've had are going to put on the album, plus some stuff we haven't heard.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's going to be blues based, and I have a couple things that are kind of country influenced and jazz influenced, but there's still, I have the root of blues within it, you know.
Do you have all your songs written, or are you still?
Pretty much. I have about 15 songs that I can play live right now, and I have a couple ideas that I'm working on, and there's some stuff that I've done many years ago that I've resurrected, that I'm going to play in Lakewood in a couple weeks, a song called Signs, and it's like a drop D riff. It's kind of like almost metal meets blues, and I wrote it at a time when I was going through a breakup, and that can be powerful too, you know.
Those are the best songs that come from the saddest songs.
Yeah.
That's one thing I hear, and it's over and over and over on the show. The best songs are from the saddest times.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is from Martin Scorsese, where he said, "The most personal is the most creative," and I try to go there if I don't freak out.
Because it gets successful, you're like reliving your worst moment over and over again.
You try and see it in a new way, because we've all been through breakups or challenging times, and I think if you shine light on it and put music to it, you'll feel it differently, and then you can be empowered by it instead of having it stuck and being stuck in it. And this way you can express it and be free of it, and maybe it'll inspire someone else to break out of a challenging time. So that's kind of what the blues is about, because the blues always makes me happy. I mean, I'll hear like Born Under a Bad Sign, or The Sky is Crying, and Stormy Monday, sad songs, and I'll feel better. Or Since I've Been Loving You, it's really a dark song, but I just go there and it lifts me up, partly because the musicianship is so great. And if someone's expressing themselves so deeply, I feel it's possible for me to open up and express myself from a challenging time. So
let's take a minute and talk about your show. So let's give a couple sets when you're doing your show.
Yeah, this particular show, it's at your neighborhood bar in West Side of Cleveland, and it's a newer place. I haven't been there yet, but the bass player that I'm working with, Justin Butcher, he plays jam night every Monday, and it seems like the people there are super friendly, and they know their music. It's run by musicians.
Nice.
So the bands who play there on the weekend, they play 3 sets, and it's like, well, my band is new. We could do 2 sets, and I'm going to do a solo acoustic set to open it. Because for the past couple of years, I've been playing solo acoustic at open mics, really testing new material. That's how I write some of my music. I'll force myself to write a song that day, then go to the open mic and play it. And that's a part of my routine. Yeah. And usually I nail it, but there's been times where I totally screw it up, and I even stop in the middle of the song, and then I'll segue to Beatles or something like that. But
that is some brave stuff, man.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it forced me to write music. I said, I need to write music because I just want to create. And so I'm going to do a solo acoustic set, and then I'm going to do 2 sets with the band. And I'm incorporating some covers. I mean, I've been really hardcore with original music, but since I have the time and I have great musicians I'm working with, I'm going to play some tunes that I've wanted to play that I haven't played. Some Jimi Hendrix, some Stevie Ray Vaughan, some ZZ Top. And I'm including a tune by Herbie Hancock, Cantaloupe Island, and Jaco Pastorius, The Chicken. Just fun, easy jams. Yep. They're not really easy, but they're fun jams. And so I'm playing stuff that inspires me to include with the original music. So it's fun.
When you're playing acoustically like that, the diff of doing that acoustically and then playing with a band, is it the same for you at this point?
Yeah, because
it feels kind of naked with just the acoustic guitar. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like it's really out there.
You are more exposed when you play solo. You really have to. For me, I feel I need to establish good rhythm as a soloist, a solo performer, and make sure there's no hiding. So you have to have your skill set as best as you can play, and especially vocally, because if like when I'm in a band and I'm singing and playing, I might drop a lyric or drop a note, but I'll catch it on guitar, you know.
Right.
But when I'm playing solo, you really have to have everything together, I feel.
Your tool belt is quite prolific between doing session work, teaching, doing
Yeah.
live performing, then writing the songs and doing electric versions. You really
Yeah.
got everything covered there to keep yourself sharp.
Yeah, now that I think about it, you're right. But
You know,
in the moment, I'm exploring a lot and experimenting a lot, and yeah, I guess I'm covering a lot of ground, and my goal is to reach more people and perform more. Like in this,
and you really challenge yourself. I mean, it's got to push you because, like, session work, the pressure's on, the clock's on, the dollar. You got to do this money. Everyone's like listening to your exact move, so everyone's just thinking about what you're doing. Or
yeah,
if you're doing like acoustic, it's very much for your notes and your singing and your melody. Like everything is just magnified. But then if you're doing
yeah,
a rock show, people are either drunk or partying and they really want to have fun, and they're
mhm.
putting it all on you. No matter how miserable their day is, they want to rock or jam or oozy or feel. They want to feel really, and it's kind of
Yeah,
on your shoulders.
yeah, it's so true. In different environments, I do put that pressure on myself. That's where practice comes in, and a lot of repetition. And like
Mhm.
lately, I've been working on my vocals more than my guitar because just the nature of being a lead singer now and a frontman. So I'll pop in a CD of all my songs as I'm driving to like teach a yoga class or as I'm going to teach lessons, and I'll sing 3 or 4 songs just to make sure I keep my vocal chops up and to keep the memory of the lyrics, because that's a lot of lyrics. If you play for 3 sets, that's a lot of lyrics to
Yeah,
remember. So
lyrics I feel like are harder than music to learn. I think it's kind of more of a challenge.
yeah, I mean, you have to have all those tools together. Um, so like doing all those open mics help my acoustic playing. So the solo acoustic set will just be a rendition of the open mics. And then the new band, we just worked really hard on this last show, and that was all the original stuff. So now we're having a little bit of fun doing covers and throwing that in there. So it's just like a continuous effort to add on and still remember what we've been working on.
It really does. It feels like a greatest hits type of you. All of everything
It
for you, right?
can be a lot, but
Are
I'm
you
gonna
ready
have
for it?
fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun. Um, because that's the point of it. Because I know I'll make mistakes, and but if I'm connecting with the audience and just giving my all, I think it'll be a great performance. And I have a good band to back me up, and we're gonna play off each other. And
And you
we're
said the
doing,
band's kind of new, right?
yeah, we're
I'm
doing
sorry.
a few instrumentals too, so that'll take the load off my vocals. The drummer Scott, I've been playing with a long time, on and off. So he did some shows with me about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Uh, and then I went into my yoga live music phase, solo acoustic phase. And then I brought him back. I said, hey man, I've been recording and I want to do a few shows. And are you busy? And he goes, I'd be up for doing some shows. And
Yeah.
I actually had to I contacted 8 bass players before I found Justin. And he was the perfect match because he plays all the blues, he plays all the rock, and he's really into some of the more jazzy stuff that I like. So
I imagine you have a bunch of contacts though for what you do between teaching and doing sessions. You probably have.
yeah, for some reason, bass players were harder to find. And so I'd call people and then it would lead me to another bass player and the schedule wouldn't work out and it'd lead me to another bass player and yeah, he was busy, and then stylistically another bass player didn't work. but we found Justin, and his first rehearsal was great. And then we did a show
Yeah.
at the Club Grog Shop, which is a popular club in Cleveland here, and we rocked it out. We pretty much nailed it. And then I wanted to play on the West Side, and Justin was already playing at Otis's, and it was a new venue, and I was excited to play this place.
When did you start doing the singing, adding to your, because you've been playing guitar, you said what, 30 years or something now, right? You play your whole life, but singing is something more.
Yeah, singing's hard, man. It didn't come natural. It didn't come easy to me.
How long you been doing it, you've been like singing out live?
Well, I played guitar for about maybe 8 years, and then I was working with a band. One of my teachers was helping me produce, and he said you should start singing, because we couldn't find a singer, and or we had singers, but they'd flake out and they weren't reliable. And Stevie was in California at the time, and he even came back and sang with my band for a couple shows, and then kept looking for singers, and my teacher said you should sing, and he hooked me up with a couple teachers. One was an operatic teacher, and one was an R&B type teacher, and so I learned the basic mechanics and started singing. And after that, I found a teacher that I really liked named Jamie Vandera. He's the guy who shatters wine glasses with his voice, and he works with a lot of metal singers.
Yeah.
And, he's really amazing, and he brought my voice to the next level where I could expand my range and sing with more power. And so I've been practicing like for the past 3 or 4 years, almost 5 to 7 days a week on my vocals. I have like about 20 minutes of vocal exercises where sometimes I would go to my car in my garage to do my vocal exercises, because I didn't want to wake up my neighbors below me in my apartment. And so I would do my vocal exercises in my car, or I'd drive somewhere and sit in a parking lot and do my vocal exercises. And because they can be really loud. I do some vocal sirens with a lot of power. And
like, who is that guy? Who's that crazy guy in the parking lot again?
Yeah, I was like, what is that sound?
What
is that a human?
It's no music. I just hear him yelling in the car. Is he on the phone? The hands free.
So
it's got to be a challenge, though, right? Like, but so as you're grappling that and you're playing guitar time, I hear that's the worst thing ever.
It is hard. Like one of the tunes I'm working on is Stevie Ray Vaughan's "Couldn't Stand the Weather." Now, vocally, he's only singing like 5 or 6 notes within an octave, maybe an octave and a half of notes. But rhythmically, he's hitting some funky stuff, and just trying to line that up, the vocals with the guitar, is really hard. So I take things really slow and before I kick it in. And when I play my own stuff, I learn the guitar part and nail the guitar part, and then try and put the vocal on top in a way that weaves in and out, and the guitar and the vocal support each other, so they're not fighting each other. You know, so I'll give you an example of this. One of my acoustic songs. I've played this with a band before, but so. All blues is good news when I am with you. We dance, we sing, and I pull these strings. So something like that.
Nice.
Really driving the rhythm and trying to sing something that fits, and where the guitar and the vocal will come together in a way that works.
It sounds great. I always find that amazing when people are singing lead and usually playing like lead guitar and trading off. Because
Yeah,
I think it's the hardest thing in the world to be doing, like, because it's just different notes, different rhythms,
yeah.
It's just
You
getting
know,
harder. Except for Geddy Lee playing like with a foot bass and keyboard and singing, like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean, you can't.
How he does it, I don't know. I marvel at anyone who plays an instrument and sings. I was
Yeah.
watching something Paul Simon did, um, the video he did in March, and his finger picking. He was singing the Boxer, and I sang that at my dad's funeral. And I didn't really finger pick. I kind of strummed it because I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. But the intricacies of what he plays and the way he sings on top of that is just mind blowing to me. And he still does it at this time. And this is like 50 years later.
You don't see that as much. Like, also, like Lindsey Buckingham would do that too with was it
Yeah,
Big Love, right? When he says
yeah,
jam out with Big Love and he starts throwing it, starts screaming it. You're like, yeah, that's insane.
yeah. And like Landslide, the stuff he does. Well, he's not singing that, but
Like the same thing, and it's
mhm.
look, he's not on the side live. So this is your first kind of your big show you're doing right now. You're playing out. Is this going to be a regular thing now? You're going to be playing out a lot now, or
Yeah, I'm looking to book more shows and record more music, and just trying to juggle life. I'm a single dad, uh, and trying to do a lot of things. Like I'm still teaching. Music. I'm teaching yoga. Um, so to do live shows and record music, I have to really step
right?
up, make sure I schedule it.
So that's cool. So you said your kid's going to record you?
My son, he was in the recording arts program at Cuyahoga Community College here for a couple of years, and then when COVID hit, everything went online, and he said, "I don't want to do this online." So he just recorded on his own, and he started working odd jobs. He's painting houses now, and he's looking to do other types of work. But he's still recording, but just not at school. I mean, they have a
Yeah.
state-of-the-art recording facility that's funded by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he was in the trench there recording, and they have a great facility there. But when COVID hit, everything shut down and went online, and he didn't. So I recorded in my bedroom on my laptop, and I did my vocals in the bathroom because I opened up the
Yeah.
shower, and the reverberation was perfect, And I was inspired by 10cc, who recorded like multiple vocal tracks in the shower, and then they put them all in the faders and did that one
great.
song, "I'm Not in Love." And so I said, well, I have limited resources, but let's try it. And it worked. So,
That's awesome. This has been really fun. I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you had some time.
Yeah.
This is great. Where can people? So I'm gonna put the links where everybody can see you at and reach you at underneath the show.
mhm.
You said you're teaching too. Can people get lessons from you also?
Yeah, I teach. Well, lately I've been teaching mostly online through
Okay.
Skype. And I'm right here at Celebrity School of Music in Warrensville Heights. It's just outside Cleveland. And I teach at all levels. I mean, I have a couple students, one in Seattle who does studio music, and they'll like call me at the last minute. I have a recording. What do I do? It's just, when's your session? He goes, tomorrow. I say, well, make a pot of coffee. You're going to stay up all night. So yeah, I Skype all the way to Finland and Canada. So you can make GaryDacanay.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram at Gary_Dacanay. So yeah, lessons are great. I it keeps me inspired, and it keeps my chops up to make sure that I know my stuff, because I have a classical guitar student, and he's learning Bach and Francisco Tarrega, so I have to keep my classical chops up.
It's like having a perfect job when you're not working. You know, you get to go to work and practice while you're at work. So then you're not working. You already practiced, warmed up.
Yes, I have to keep my playing together. So yeah, so this show's at Otis's Cruise Inn in Lakewood. It's a newer venue, and the people seem really friendly, and they're for the musician. They have a songwriter night. They just started that on Wednesday. They have jam night on Monday, and they have some really good bands coming through on the weekends.
And the date of your show is
November 12th.
Okay.
3 sets, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And,
okay. Thanks for being on the show, man.
All right. Thank you, Sean.